What up, VC? Kieran here. Hope everyone's doing well. Beautiful day outside here in Montreal. Sunny. Almost 20 degrees Celsius, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. No idea. Anyway, I wanted to do a quick video. Don't have much time, but I wanted to go through, show you guys the rest of the jazz pickups from the past month, I guess. I had done a couple videos recently, but I had split them up. So this is what I have left. Next weekend, there's a fair here in town on Saturday, so I wanted to show you guys the rest of my stack before I pick up some more stuff next week, hopefully. And Tom is coming up for that fair, so I'm going to show him around the city and the fair. Hopefully we find some good stuff. I'm looking forward to that. So let's get into it. First of all, 2 records on the same label I picked up in consecutive weeks. First records I have on this label, there aren't many to be found. Actually, that's not true. I have one, but it's a reissue. It's my first 2 early pressings. So the label is Philly Jazz. So first one I picked up is Bayard Lancaster Exodus Philly Jazz 1, first record on the label, and my first record by Bayard Lancaster, actually. So here he does 2 of his own compositions and Mr. PC by Coltrane, and on side 1, and then another one of his compositions. But really dope record. Some free stuff, some spiritual. I need to listen to it again. I've listened to it a couple times, but I definitely think I'm going to get a lot more out of this album the more I listen to it. And it's on, like I said, Philly Jazz, which is my first record on the label. I'll show you guys what the label looks like. Yeah, the one that I have sorry for the reflection. The one that I have the reissue of on Philly Jazz is Sun Ra Languidity, which you guys all know. If you don't, check it out. Dope Sun Ra record, one of the many. Don't have a ton of Sun Ra. Just don't know where to start, really. If you have a favorite Sun Ra record other than Languidity, let me know. The other one that I got, this one, the cover is a bit beat up, but the record's in great shape. Actually, the cover's in good shape except for this little corner. I guess there was some water damage. So it's Sonny Murray's Untouchable Factor Apple Course. And this, I think, is the 4th release. Yeah. Well, it's PJ 1004. So I don't know if this is a first press. It might, I think it's maybe from a second pressing, because there's a little insert in here that says 1979. The record's from 1978. Sorry, Exodus, I didn't say, I think is from the same year, 1977. And this one, you have a bunch of artists you can see there. Cecil McBee is kind of always a red flag, not a red flag, a good flag. Whenever I see that, I'm usually going to get the record. He's on a ton of records, but a lot of them are pretty solid. So this is a dope record as well. Really cool to pick up some stuff on Philly Jazz. The label wasn't even really on my radar because you just don't see it. But like I mentioned in previous videos, the last couple videos, the record store here locally picked up a really good jazz collection. They have some stuff that you don't normally see around in these parts of town, you know? Another spiritual jazz one. Gratian Moncur III, the Jazz Composers Orchestra, Echoes of a Prayer. Another one, really happy to find this. Didn't know about it at all, but was definitely intrigued. Beautiful spiritual jazz record. This is on the Jazz Composers Orchestra label. And this one is, who else is on here? You have Leroy Jenkins on violin, Cecil McBee on bass, Charlie Hayden as well on bass, Carla Bley, obviously Jazz Composers Orchestra. This one's from 70, does it say on here? It was presented at a workshop in 1972. Interesting. Anyway, I don't know if any of you guys know this. I think my 3rd record on Jazz Composers Orchestra. I have a Don Cherry, I believe, is on the label, and what's the other one I have? The Roswell Rudd. Another record. So first three here that I showed you, three records, not on my radar at all, completely new to me. And this next one, I think, is the last of the bunch that was completely new to me as well, but just really intrigued me. And this is New Jazz Trio, page 1. This is on the MPS label. Actually, I have another one in the stack on Oh no, it's not on MPS. I lied. Why did I think it's German? So as far as I know, so it's on BASF. However you say that. I just know that from tapes. BASF. Really, really nice cover, glossy gatefold. This one is in absolutely beautiful shape. And very, very nice music. It is MPS, sorry. I guess they're together. MPS stereo. This is the back. So kind of very open, I don't know how to say it. Not mellow, but so it's just three guys, flugelhorn and trumpet, percussion and bass. Very, very cool record. And I posted this one, I think, on Instagram or maybe on a Facebook group, and Van had commented that he had gotten it for Christmas and that he dug the record. So stamp of approval by Van is always a good one. I was happy I picked that one up. New to me. Next one is on Impulse, and it's an artist that I love, and I didn't have any of his Impulse recordings on vinyl. This probably would have been my last choice out of all of his records on the label, but not saying I was ecstatic and thrilled to find it. It's a Canadian Spartan press, but that's okay. It's the first time I see any of his records on Impulse in a store here. So this is Mingus Plays Piano, Spontaneous Compositions and Improvisations. So you see Spartan, this is a stereo copy. And as you can see, it is in beautiful shape. The gatefold, you just have a tiny little hole punch. The gatefold is not even cracked. And this is, yeah, like I said, I would have preferred to find, probably my first choice would be Black Saint and the Sinner Lady, but really happy to add this to the collection. And I'd actually never listened to it, so I've listened to it a couple times now. I'm enjoying it, but I think I have to give it a few more spins to fully appreciate this record. Really happy to add another Impulse to the collection. I had done a video a couple weeks ago on just Impulse pickups I had done, because I had picked up quite a few. This one I showed, or I spoke about in my last video. John Handy recorded live at the Monterey Jazz Festival. John Handy actually used to play with Charles Mingus earlier on. This is from about the mid-60s, Monterey Jazz Festival. And it's just 2 tracks, very spiritual kind of vibe. Spanish Lady and If Only We Knew. And you have, the players aren't listed on here, but who was playing with him at the time that I found interesting is Michael White. Michael White's someone that, spiritual jazz player, violinist, and I only have one of his records, and I would definitely like to pick up a few more of his 70s releases. But this, if you see, I mentioned I got this for free actually. If you see this, it's not an expensive record. I'm looking for an upgrade copy because this one's not in the best shape. There's some surface noise, but if you see this and you're into spiritual jazz, definitely check it out. And I'll probably be on the lookout for some other John Handy from around this period. See if I can find something with a similar vibe as that. Next 3 are all by the same artist. I didn't have any, oh no, that's not true. I didn't have these 3. They're all on the same label. Label I really like. Is this one on the same label as well? Yeah, all Flying Dutchman releases. Spiritual-ish jazz. I don't really know how to classify this. It's a little different. But yeah, no, it's spiritual jazz. So I got Expansions by Lonnie Smith and the Cosmic Echoes. This was cool. The store was closing and I was leaving. Gonna be leaving soon as it closed, and a guy I'm kind of a buddy with the store said, "Oh, are you still here?" He texted me actually. He was in the basement. He's like, "Are you still here?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Come to the back. There's some crates that are going out tomorrow morning if you want to have a look through," which was really cool. And I pulled out, I think, 5 records from there. So I got this one, and this, like I mentioned before, has Cecil McBee on it, which for me is basically a guaranteed purchase. So I got that one. I got Visions of a New World, and these are all in like near mint, beautiful condition record and gatefold, Flying Dutchman, and this one not as good as those first two, but very, very cool nonetheless. I figured why not get all of them. And I have two others. I have a later one, and I have the one that's I think in between one of these, but the other one, I have a reissue on Flying Dutchman, so it's cool to pick that up. This is another Impulse record, actually possibly my first Keith Jarrett record. Not sure, I might have one, or just at least some stuff that he's on for sure. But this is Treasure Island, actually, and I don't know, it just kind of caught my eye for whatever reason, and I really, really dug it, so I bought it. I was sampling it at the store. Definitely recommend this Keith Jarrett record, and if you have any, I know which some people have recommended other Keith Jarretts to me, and I'll probably get them eventually, particularly the live one. You have Dewey Redman on here, Charlie Hayden, Paul Motion. Those are the artists I know. But the first track, The Rich and the Poor, I really, really was enjoying that one. Anyway, Treasure Island, Keith Jarrett. Cheap. You can find that for cheap, and I recommend you pick it up. This is one actually that same friend of mine from the record store had shown me from his collection, and then I came across it at the store. So I picked it up. It's pretty dope. It's on Milestone. Opa, Magic Time. Really cool cover. And this is, I don't even know, it's kind of like Latin, jazzy, funky, like a whole mix of different styles of music. You can sample this online. I definitely recommend you check it out. It's from 1977 on Milestone. Cool one that you don't see, I had never seen around, or maybe it just never caught my eye, but I'm sure some of you know this. Opa, Magic Time. This one I got at the same time as the Lonnie Smith, and this is Lonnie Smith, Aphrodisia. One that I had wanted, knew I always wanted. I'd seen it once before, but this time decided to pick it up because it was in beautiful shape and way cheaper than the first time I had seen it not in half as good a shape. This one I dig the music. It's not like the best by any means, but it's I dig it, and I love the artwork on this. Really, really dig this kind of colorful, funky artwork. So happy to add that one to the collection. Lonnie Smith. Do I have any other Lonnie Smiths? Yes, Move Your Hand on Blue Note. Dope record. I was listening to it yesterday. 2, 3 kind of funkier ones. All really good, in my opinion, that I enjoy. Maybe not for everyone. Graffiti Blues by Blue Mitchell. Sorry, Chico Freeman's going wild here in the background. Dope record, really funky. This is on Mainstream 400. You have Don Bailey on here. Don't even know who that is, really. Who do I know on here? Walter Bishop Jr. on piano. Joe Sample on piano. That's about it, but really groovy. Love the cover on this too. It's a gatefold. George Duke, Faces in Reflection. My first George Duke on MPS, I believe. There's one I had put on hold and didn't go back for in time at a store, and I regret it. Not that it's rare, but you don't see them too much around here. The MPS George Duke. You see a lot of the later 70s stuff, which is no, okay, but not great. This one's from 74. The one I really want is the Aura Will Prevail. So I'm hoping I will one day get that record, but I really enjoy that. And this one really good too. You have Ndugu on drums, which is always a good thing, and John Hurd on bass. If you like this, I don't know. What do you guys think of George Duke? I dig it, the early 70s stuff. I know there's one on MPS that's like stupid rare. One store here I had it. They wanted $100 for it. I don't remember what it's called. And last one, I showed a Hampton Hawes, I think in my last video or second to last video. And this is Blues for Walls. I had picked up the Windows one. Wow, the name escapes me right now. But this one's really dope too. I spun this yesterday afternoon. Another one on Prestige. I like the cover. And it's a green label Prestige. And you have Nadugu again on here. And Hadley Kaliman and Henry Franklin on bass. Always a good thing. Really dope. So that's it for the jazz stack. That whole square there is pretty much relatively new jazz records I picked up. I've shown them all to you, but I need to start filling them into there alphabetically. So that's it. Hope everyone's well, and maybe I'll be back with a video next week with my pickups from the fair and from the stores around Montreal. Gonna give a little city tour. There's actually 2 vinyl community members coming to Montreal next weekend, so should be cool. Take care, guys. Peace.